Hey everybody, Father Dave. Just a little quick little car video here. So online this past week in the homily, we talked about driving a junky car. And I was trying to teach about how Jesus blessed are the poor. And because the poor, how are the poor blessed? Because no one thinks that the poor are blessed. And the analogy I tried to make was, if you have a brand new car, man, I probably didn't do a good job here. I bring it up again. But since I'm in my car visiting someone I care about in the hospital, this is my head. So, when you have a brand new car, 3 months into that new car, you don't worry about getting your destination. If you have a junky car, where you drive and you have to listen to all the sounds, you start praying because it's not guaranteed you're going to make your destination, and you start to reach out to God. And what are you supposed to learn in that? You're not supposed to learn that you should buy a new car. Sometimes what you learn is, or what you're supposed to learn is, hey, God is reliable. That you can count on him to get you to the destination that he is asking you to go to, whether that is a hospital to see someone you care about, or if your wife is in labor, to get her to the hospital, or to go to your job sometimes, right? That you can count on God, that he shows up. And that's what you learn when you drive a junky car, or you learn to put on the music and not hear the sounds of your car. But you invite Jesus into your car, invite him into the passenger seat with you, and talk to him as you drive together to your destination. So all right, Father Dave, we heard that in the homily. Yeah, but there's some advice to grandmas and grandpas and moms and dads. I only said this at one of the weekend masses today, and I wanted to put this out there for folks in these situations. So sometimes moms and grandmas, parents will say to me, "Oh, Father Dave, my kids don't go to church. Like, we send them to Catholic school, we provided for them, and they don't pray, they don't go to church. They're not people of faith," and it breaks their heart. And I think my first thought is, well, you waste your money sending them to Catholic school, because if your grandkids didn't see your kids pray, they're not going to pray, right? That's sad. That's what I think. I don't always say that, but then I think, and today I guess this is what I want to highlight today, right? If you never put your kids or grandkids in a position in their life where they need to trust God, then how will they know that God is reliable? Right? God is reliable. You know that he will show up for them. Do they know that themselves, right? That a movie is good because you've seen the movie. You know that a food is good because you have eaten that food. And if you have a junky car, that God will take care of you and get you to your destination. And I think, maybe this is some unorthodox but sound advice for parents or grandparents. Your kid's getting a car. Maybe you don't want to get them a brand new car with all the bells and whistles, the auto drive, and all the safety features. Why? Well, because then the kid's going to let the car drive themselves to work. They're going to be texting with their friends. Their mind's not going to be on the road, all that kind of stuff. But then they're going to trust in the vehicle and not in God, who gets you to the destination, right? Because once you go from a junky car to a good car, you kind of, the temptation is to forget that God is with you, that he is taking care of you, and you want to ask him for that help. This is what the poor know. God shows up and takes care of us. He is reliable, and you can rely on him. And so I think maybe this is some good advice. I think it's good enough I'm putting it out here on YouTube. Parents, grandparents, think about this. Maybe, when it's time to get your kid or grandkid a car, instead of kicking in for something with all the bells and whistles, get them some with half the whistles, that they're going to have to pray to get to their destination. And if you know that God's reliable, then you should have no fear on that, because he'll be with them in that vehicle, right? And they should get that car blessed, and you put a rosary up there so they can pray the rosary as they're driving, because Mother Teresa drove like that. I drive like that. And that's how faith becomes real. And then later in life, when they're going through a crisis, you pray upon these experiences. You say, this is what the Jews are doing. They're remembering what God did for them and ask him to do it now. Right? Lord, you freed us from slavery in Egypt. Free us from the Romans, right? You who, delivered us, from the whips, deliver us from leprosy. The Jews are praying on their experiences, and we do the same. We say, God, you who kept me safe on my cross-country trip, keep me safe now in this crisis pregnancy. Right? You who did this in the past, do this again, because he is reliable. Do we reliably rely upon him? Anyway, just a thought as I jump in the car to visit somebody here that I care about. Think about it. Pray about it. We'll see you guys next week. God bless you.